and Freddie Potts has come on for him. So Freddie Potts is actually starting the game then. So Freddie Potts is now in the starting 11, and Jean-Claire Todibo presumably must have got injured in the warm-up, and he can't be risked by head coach Nuno Espirito Santo, and so Todibo now not in the starting 11, and Freddie Potts has taken his place. So apologies for the short notice in that update, but that was the first information we had there, that there'd been a very, very late change in that West Ham starting lineup. But Villa back on the attack again down this left-hand side. Barkley just receives the ball from Torres. Barkley on the left of centre here, about 10 yards over the halfway line into West Ham's own half. Quick 1-2 with Onana. Now Cash. Heavy deflection there off Barkley, an inadvertent deflection, and the ball is collected by Soucek. Now to the right-hand side of West Ham's defence. Back to Hermansen with his first touch. Now Diouf passes the ball to Potts. Potts just brings the ball up to within 5 yards of the halfway line. Then a long ball down the left, collected by Diouf. Diouf gets past Cash. Diouf getting into a very good position here. Ball across the face of goal, but it's cleared away by Konsa. Now the ball goes back to West Ham's left-hand side of their midfield, collected by Fernandez. Now Potts. Now with Mavropanos. Scored recently. First goal in a long, long time against Manchester City, where West Ham were able to secure a point. Could well be a precious point by the end of the season. Potts just receives the ball again. Looks as if he's playing right in the heart of the West Ham defence. Quick 1-2 now with Disasi, who played on loan for a while at Aston Villa last season. Still on loan now. Now, obviously, at West Ham United from London rivals Chelsea. Now, Soucek just going over the halfway line. Up to Fernandez. Mavropanos. Now to Disasi. Just going into the centre of defence now. Now up to the halfway line. Long ball down this right-hand side, but it can't be collected, though, on that right flank. And it will go out of play. And I think it just went the side of the corner flag, so it can be a goal kick for Martinez to take. So just into the 6th minute now then. Goalless, still looking for our first opportunity of the game of any kind for either side. And so Villa just bring the ball up from defence then. Torres now passes square to his right-hand side for Konsa to receive. Now Cash, that's a great through ball there from the Poland international. Up to Sancho, is inside the 18-yard box, pass across the face of goal, but that's brilliant defending there from Konstantinos Mavropanos. He had to get in there in the nick of time, otherwise that would have been a goal there for Aston Villa. It was a brilliant pass across the face of goal from Sancho after an exquisite through ball from Matty Cash from the right-back position. And Sancho played the ball in across the face of goal, almost turned in by Ollie Watkins, but that was brilliant defending there by Mavropanos, the Greek defender. That's absolutely superb, and surely that prevented Ollie Watkins from a simple tap-in. So it's a corner from the left-hand side here for Villa, only just cleared away, but now Sancho looking to hammer the ball home. It's blocked immediately though by the West Ham defence, and the ball will go out for a throw. And it looks as if Sancho, well, he has hands on the ball, but he's not actually going to take it. Instead, it's going to be Matty Cash, and that would indicate that this is going to be a long throw in from the Poland international. So Cash signalling what he wants here before he's going to release the ball. And he's going to release long here, right into, well, up to the edge of the 6-yard box here. Just cleared away by the West Ham defence, only as far as Digne, who goes for goal, and it's just tipped around the post there by Hermansen. I was going to say that was ambitious, to say the least, from the French fullback, but I think that was heading on target, and Hermansen was needed there to tip the ball around the post. Collected the ball from around 25, well, probably just over 25 yards out. I think it probably was heading just the other side of the post, but Hermansen could not risk that. And so he had to stick the glove out and has to make the change. So it's another corner from the left-hand side here for Villa. It's aimed right into the heart of the 6-yard area. Bit of a goalmouth scramble before the West Ham defence again clears the ball away. This time as far as McGinn. Castellanos trying to get ahead of the Scotland international there. Ball goes out of play. Should be a throw in to Villa. Great corner there. Only just cleared away by, I think, Mavropanos. Just getting in the right place at the right time. He had an excellent game in that match against Manchester City. And he's had an excellent start to this game. 2 huge defensive interceptions there that have prevented Villa from taking an early lead. So a very positive start from Villa. I've covered quite a few of their games this season. And I think it's fair to say that in the past couple of months, Villa have been almost looking very tired in their approach to games. They do look very leggy. But this has certainly been a much brighter start to this Premier League game than what they've had for a while in the league. Of course, they are on the back of 3 successive defeats in the Premier League, so desperately need 3 points here. You can actually just see images here of Jean-Claire Todibo just sat just behind the bench. So he was in line to start, but I can only assume he must have got injured very late on in that warm-up, so he was replaced by Freddie Potts, so that Potts could move into the starting lineup ahead of the presumably injured Todibo. So 10 minutes in, still Villa 0, West Ham 0. Villa coming close to taking the lead early on here, but 2 great defensive interceptions from Mavropanos have kept it at 0-0 so far. Pablo just receives the ball well inside West Ham's own half on the left-hand side. Soucek to Potts, back to Soucek. Now to the left wing again, up to Fernandez. Fernandez goes down. He's got a late clip there from Cash. And that will be a free kick to the Hammers. Cash just coming in a little bit too keen there. Nothing malicious, but clearly a foul. And the free kick now taken short by the visitors. Long ball up top here, trying to find Castellanos on his own up front, but he can't quite latch on to the long ball. Martinez will collect and throw the ball out here. Now up to Torres. I can just let you know of some early possession stats. So far it's 58%, 42% in favour of the visitors so far in these opening 10 minutes of the game. As far as we know as well, still goalless between Spurs and Nottingham Forest in that other huge Premier League game that kicked off at the exact same time as this one. Long ball played in by Villa. Rodgers just looking to get on the end of it. Just got the end of his foot onto the ball, but couldn't control it, and the ball ran out to the gloves of Hermansen. West Ham back on the attack here then, with Diouf knocking the ball back to Potts just on the halfway line. Now Fernandez right in the centre. Back to Mavropanos. Now Disasi. Potts. Quick 1-2 with Mavropanos. Now into the 12th minute here. Disasi to Diouf. Back to Disasi. West Ham happy to have plenty of the ball so far then. Yet to create an opportunity for themselves so far. Now with Disasi again. Pass out to the left-hand side. Finds Diouf. Now with Castellanos just dropping in deep. Passes to Potts inside the centre circle. Mavropanos. Chip delivery down the right-hand side. Headed away by Digne. Now Barkley. Villa trying to go in the break here, but Villa have won a free kick. Foul came in from Potts. Just on Ollie Watkins. Just a challenge from behind there. just knocking Watkins off his feet. It's okay to continue. Already back up on both feet here, the England international. Again, another player that's hoping to book his place at the FIFA World Cup this summer in the England squad. Only one goal in his last 9 Premier League appearances, though. Needs to rediscover some form ahead of this summer. So Villa back in possession after a short free kick. Cash midway down this right flank inside West Ham's half. Back to Konsa. Onana. Torres just on the left of the centre circle. Passes square to Digne. Back to Torres. Quick pass up to Onana just on the halfway line. Then a delivery, lofted delivery from Torres. Puts Digne in a good position. Plays the ball in. Sancho looking to play a bit of a dummy there to try and allow John McGinn the opportunity to have a shot with his left foot, but the West Ham defence is able to clear the ball away, so it'll still be a throw to Villa in a good position. Ball came off Diouf last. Digne with a short throw. Now with Rodgers, just on this left-hand side, goes down and the referee gives a free kick. West Ham don't like that decision, but got to go along with it. The man in the middle, by the way, is Paul Tierney. Paul Tierney is the referee for this game. Foul was committed by Fernandes there. And it's going to be a free kick to Villa in a good position. Too acute to go for goals, surely, but free kick in an attacking position on this left-hand side. Looks as if it's going to be Cash to take here. And what can Villa do with this set piece as we just reach the quarter hour mark in this match? Villa 0, West Ham 0. Plenty of bodies for both teams on the edge of the 6-yard box. Free kick short to Sancho. Now McGinn will go for goal from 20 yards out and he's found the back of the net. John McGinn has scored to give Villa the lead, and that's his 4th Premier League goal of the season. After 15 minutes played, it's a beautiful 18-yard shot there from John McGinn. A very well-worked free kick routine there. And Villa reaping the benefits of that superb training ground routine there. It's Villa 1, West Ham 0. After 15 minutes played, John McGinn with his 4th Premier League goal of the season. A superb finish. I think it was just outside the edge of the box. Let's have a look at the first replay. Free kick was taken short by Cash, then played across, 20 yards out, definitely outside the 18-yard area. So it's yet another goal for Villa this season from outside the box. It's Jadon Sancho with the assist. Oh, that's a great finish. Not really anything Mads Hermansen could do about that. Oh, it's a beautiful finish. He doesn't go for power. He strikes it well, but it's not exactly, you wouldn't describe it as a powerful effort. It was just played to perfection. And John McGinn with a great finish, nice assist as well from Sancho. And it's Villa 1, West Ham 0. John McGinn then with the goal after a quarter of an hour played for his 4th league goal of the season. But Castellanos almost getting an equaliser back there for West Ham. A chip delivery into Villa's own 18-yard box. And Castellanos, I think, just getting the final touch on that. The ball was steered wide of the target, but did it actually come off a Villa player last? Because Ezri Konsa was just very tightly marking the West Ham forward. I'm not sure if it might have been given as a free kick to Villa. As Nuno Espirito Santo looks on. Work to do then for West Ham. Currently 2 games unbeaten in the Premier League, looking to make it 3. But work to do if they are to achieve that. So Villa play the ball out from the back then. So it wasn't a corner, it was just a goal kick to be taken by Martinez. McGinn, how they've missed McGinn, by the way. I don't think it's any coincidence that Villa's real drop in form has come about with the likes of John McGinn being unavailable through injury. But McGinn is back, he's starting, he's fit again. Also, very noteworthy that Yuri Tielemans is back on the bench for Villa. They've really missed him as well. And just a sign that Villa are getting some big important players back at just the right time. Now Ollie Watkins on the next attack here for Villa. Chip delivery into the box. Just misses Rodgers, but Digne will now collect for Villa on this left-hand side to Barkley. I think goes for goal, actually, from around 25 yards out. It's blocked straight away by the West Ham defence. Ball comes out to Catch. Konsa. Now Torres. Rodgers, Barkley. This is good possession play here from Villa. This has been much brighter than I've seen Villa for a long time. I also did commentary for Villa's second leg victory against Lille. And even though it was a 2-0 win for Villa in that game, it still took quite some time for the game to get going. And this has been the brightest start I've seen from Villa in any competition for quite some time here. Matty Cash just receives the ball just over the halfway line. He's got plenty of space to run into here. Now to Onana. Onana with a lofted delivery, trying to find Cash, and he just gets to the ball before it goes over the byline. But could only guide the ball into the gloves of Hermansen. So 19 minutes played then. Villa 1, West Ham 0. John McGinn with the only goal of the game so far. As Hermansen, just with his feet, just takes the ball over his 18-yard area, now over the D as well. Just letting you know, it's still goalless, by the way, between Tottenham Hotspur and Nottingham Forest in that other crucial Premier League game. Earlier on today in the big North East derby, it was dramatic, they always seem to be, and that finished Newcastle United 1, Sunderland 2. Brian Brobby with a 90th minute goal there to secure all 3 points for the Black Cats. West Ham bringing the ball up over the halfway line, now inside Villa's half. Not the best of deliveries though. And it just falls out of Bowen's reach, who's not really seeing much of the ball at all so far. Just in terms of the match stats then, as we now move into the 20th minute, Villa have had 4 shots in total, just the one on target, but of course that was a shot that went in and has given Villa the lead. West Ham with just 1 shot overall, and that wasn't on target, and that's all West Ham have produced so far. Villa back on the attack once more here on this left hand side. Ball comes to McGinn. Now Barkley. Rodgers just tees up Sancho. Sancho just looking for some space here. Puts the ball in. Amadou Onana goes for goal with a header, and it's steered wide. Should have done better really with that, the Belgian international. Unai Emery likes what he sees though, gives it a big round of applause. It was good approach play from Villa, and I just feel like Onana should have done better really there with that chance. Should have done a lot better, should really have hit that on target. Probably that was a better chance to score than the goal that actually came about through John McGinn. So West Ham work to do for them here after what's been a very solid start to the game for the hosts. Throw in now to West Ham. Diouf to take, about 15 yards away behind the halfway line, inside West Ham's own half on this left-hand side. Brings the ball up to the number 19, Pablo. Now Villa restore possession again. Rodgers, that's a nice ball there to Watkins. He's got Digne on the overlap. Digne plays the ball in across the face of goal. Cleared away initially by the West Ham defence. Falls as far as Barkley. Oh, just misses Rodgers there. And Digne can't claim the ball back. And it's going to roll out for a goal kick for Hermansen to take. So we're just at the midway point then of this first half. Villa 1, West Ham 0. Still goalless between Spurs and Forest. And of course later on today it's Arsenal versus Manchester City in the final of the Carabao Cup. Arguably, I would say the most significant League Cup final maybe ever played. Certainly in the last few years anyway. It's hard to think of a more significant tie than that between first and second place in the Premier League. Watkins will go for goal here, and it's steered wide. Bit ambitious there from the England forward. He's desperate for goals. but was confident enough to take that on. He collected the ball on this left-hand side, put inside his man here, and went for goal with his right foot. In the end, went a few yards wide of goal, but you know, therefore the hit there for the taking. Villa certainly playing with quite a lot of confidence so far in this game, and West Ham have been on the back foot here. Long goal kick taken in by Hermansen. Glancing header from McGinn in Villa's midfield. We've just got a West Ham player down here, and it's Tomáš Souček. Just being brought up to his feet by Luka Digne. So we'll just have another look on the monitor here of that superb finish from McGinn, set up nicely by Sancho. And that's just such a lovely finish from McGinn. And Villa have scored so many goals like that this season from outside the box. They're scoring with a lot of efforts which will rank low on XG. I know not everyone is into those kind of stats with XG for expected goals, but if you are into those stats, Villa have kind of been the kings this season of scoring, despite you know, having a very low XG for quite a lot of games this season, and really over achieving on that stat. And that pattern has continued into today's game so far. Just brightening up here in Birmingham, sun coming out now. Cash plays the ball back to the halfway line to Konsa. Now to Torres, going about 15 yards over the halfway line to Digne on the left-hand side. Now Rodgers just looking for some space. He's going up to the 18-yard box. Now he's inside the box. Plays in Watkins. Goes for goal, but it's a great save there from Hermansen. Comes out to McGinn. Can't quite get the ball down so he can get the strike in. Now back to Barkley. And Souček makes a crucial interception. Goes down, but the referee waves play on. That's a good decision there by Paul Tierney. West Ham going down this right-hand side through Castellanos. He needs more support, though. And it looks as if a free kick is now being given to the visitors. An infringement there from Ross Barkley. Let's have a quick look again then at that chance. And Villa with a huge chance there to go 2-0 up. It was great work from Morgan Rodgers getting into the area. And then Ollie Watkins. It was a good effort from the England striker, but a really good reflex save there from Hermansen prevents Villa from doubling their advantage. So 25 minutes into the game. Villa 1, West Ham 0. John McGinn with the only goal so far. Of course, scored very recently as well in Villa's last game at home against Lille to send the Villains through to the quarter-finals of the UEFA Europa League. That's, by the way, the third season in a row that Villa have reached the quarter-finals of a European competition, in 3 different competitions as well. Attempted ball there from West Ham. Attempted through ball, rather. Just had too much purchase on it. And that will run out for a goal kick for Martinez to take. Just a reminder of the both teams' next games. So, of course, well, for Villa, it's a really long break now until their next game, because we've got the international break coming up. And also, when it comes to the FA Cup weekend, no Premier League games now take place when there's FA Cup games to go ahead. We'll come back to that later, as Sancho has got into a great position here, plays the ball into Morgan Rodgers, and his effort is blocked by the West Ham defence before McGinn goes for goal, blazes the ball over, and now what has the referee given here? I'm not too sure what the referee has given here, as it's still Villa 1, West Ham 0. The referee, I think, is just waiting for some confirmation here from his VAR officials. Let's have a look then. So Mavropanos was kind of all over the back there of Ollie Watkins. Watkins, I just wonder, has the referee actually given a penalty here? Mavropanos went in with the challenge in the end. Does he actually get the ball? Is it in the area? It is just in the area. Well, we're just awaiting as to what the final decision is going to be. Now, the referee, Paul Tierney, is going to go over to his video monitor here. And it's a possible penalty for Aston Villa. Was Watkins brought down by Mavropanos inside the area. So Paul Tierney is going to go over to his video monitor now. What decision is he going to make here? We're into the 28th minute now. So let's have a look again. So checking to see if, well, for me, Mavropanos gets the ball. Just having a look again. Well, just in my eyes anyway, just from my perspective, Mavropanos wins the ball for me, and I think that's a good challenge. Well, the referee is now going away from his monitor. And what is the referee's final decision here? Huge moment here. He's now speaking into his microphone. And what's the final decision going to be? Still waiting here. And it looks as if no penalty. So it looks as if no penalty is being given. Ollie Watkins is appealing to the referee, but for me, I think that's the right call in the end. I think that was a really good challenge by Mavropanos, and he gets the ball fair and square. And so definitely no penalty then. So it took a while for that to be sorted out here, and it was very unclear for a while. But the final decision then, after the referee checked his monitor, is to say no penalty in the end for West Ham. And now the Hammers have got a chance here through Pablo, but Martinez wins the race for the ball and gets the ball into his gloves, and then throws the ball out into a great forward position. Morgan Rogers now playing the ball to his left-hand side, finds Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins still in possession here. Now just to the left-hand side, just on the outskirts of the penalty area. Needs a bit of support though. Still has the ball right up to the byline. Does really well to keep retention of the ball. Then a loop delivery there from Morgan Rogers. Ball comes out to Sancho. Then the ball will run out for a corner here. So Villa still with all the pressure. They've certainly been the better team so far in this game and deserve to have the lead. So just having a look at that possible penalty incident again. And I must say, as soon as I saw the actual replay, I thought it was a really good challenge by Mavropanos. So to clarify, the initial decision from the referee was a penalty. So he played advantage. Now when Morgan Rogers saw his effort blocked, he then pointed to the spot. But then when he went to check the video footage, he reversed his decision and said no penalty. And that was the correct call, because I'm certain that was a really good challenge there by Mavropanos. Corner comes in from Villa and it's headed away from the goal line by the West Ham defence. And it's that man again there. Mavropanos is at the centre of everything at the moment for West Ham. Corner came in. Not sure who it came off last, but it needed Mavropanos there, literally on the goal line. And it was Morgan Rogers that almost scored there from only around 4 yards out, maybe even 3. And Mavropanos there, he didn't know too much about it, but he was just in at the right place at the right time on that goal line and just got his head in the way. And again, that has stopped Villa from finding a second goal. It's all Villa at the moment here. West Ham are really struggling, and if anything, Villa should be more than a goal up here. But Mavropanos has been the man of the match so far in this opening half an hour of this match. He's been superb for West Ham at the back. And, well, certainly the right call was made in regards to that possible penalty decision. The referee reversed his initial call of a penalty after checking the VAR footage, his video monitor, and it was it was definitely a well-won tackle there from the defender. So we're now into the 32nd minute of the game. It's still Aston Villa 1, West Ham United 0. John McGinn with the only goal so far. Free kick for Villa inside their own half here. Still, by the way, it's goalless between Tottenham Hotspur and Nottingham Forest. Onana now to Barkley. Digne on the left-hand side. Back to Barkley. Plays the ball back over the halfway line to Torres. Barkley again. Just coming under some pressure there from Soucek. So in the as it stands table, West Ham would still be inside the relegation zone and 1 point behind Nottingham Forest and 2 points behind Tottenham Hotspur. But of course, still a long way to go yet in this game. And I'm sure we've got plenty more chances to come for both sides here. Villa still in possession. Torres just going past his man over the halfway line. McGinn. Barkley as well to keep hold of the ball there after Potts trying to come in for a challenge. Square pass finds Konsa. Now into the 33rd minute here. Onana just inside the centre circle. Now Torres. Dinia's got some space to work into on this left-hand side. That's good support there from McGinn. Dinia's got time to go for a delivery. Goes low. Rodgers plays the ball across the face of goal here. It's an effort from Onana, but that's well blocked by the West Ham defence. Ball runs out. Matty Cash takes the throw very quickly. Villa with all the momentum at the moment. And they'll probably feel like they should have a 2-goal lead here. But it's just the one at the moment. Torres. Quick 1-2 with Dinia. West Ham pressing up high here. That's a great turn there from McGinn. Now Watkins has just got one defender to beat. 20 yards out, he goes for goal and it's deflected just wide of the post. I'm sure that took a deflection there. And Ollie Watkins denied. He certainly had chances in this first half. A great turn from John McGinn. Sets up Watkins. He just has Mavropanos to beat. And I'm sure it just took a deflection there off the Greek defender. Let's have a look. Yeah, it just clipped off his left foot again. Very good defending there from Mavropanos. And it's going to be a corner now on this left-hand side for Villa. And if it wasn't for that defender, Villa would certainly be more than a goal up. Villa have scored 10 goals from corners so far this season, 6 behind Arsenal, who have the most. Corner comes in then from Cash. It's punched away by Hermansen. Now West Ham will look to break on the counter, but they've already had the ball taken away from them. McGinn plays the ball to the left-hand side of the 18-yard box. Delivery comes in from Cash, but it's straight into the gloves there of Hermansen. And now West Ham get a second bite at the cherry here to go on the counter. And they finally just need some time on the ball here because Villa have had so much momentum within the last 10 to 15 minutes. Pretty much ever since they've taken the lead. Floated delivery to the left wing, finds Diouf. Diouf plays the ball into the centre, finds Fernandez. Square pass, finds Mavropanos. He's had an outstanding game so far at the heart of West Ham's defence. Ball is now received by Disasi. As we touched on before, played on loan at Villa last season. Diouf. Now Potts. Up to the centre of play from 25 yards out. It's an ambitious effort from Bowen. Takes a deflection though. And it will be a corner for West Ham from pretty sure their first corner kick of the game. So corner then for West Ham. Let's see what they can do here from this set piece. Still goalless, by the way, between Tottenham Hotspur and Nottingham Forest. Earlier on today in the big North East derby, it finished Newcastle United 1, Sunderland 2 at St James's Park after Brian Brobby scored in the 90th minute. So corner will be taken by Bowen himself. Plenty of bodies lined up around the edge of the 6-yard area. Corner comes in here for West Ham, but it's straight into the gloves of Martinez. Martinez just being crowded out here by Pablo and Castellanos. Now Martinez will just deliver a short throw out to Torres as we now move into the 37th minute of the game here. I'll tell you, by the way, earlier on today there was a key game in the Scottish Premier League and a big upset as well. Celtic's title hopes have taken a big blow. They've lost 2-0 away at Dundee United, so Hearts remain top of the SPL. So a big game there north of the border. West Ham have just won a free kick here. Pablo going down after a trip from Rodgers. So we just move into the 38th minute of the game now. Just a slight break in play here, not too sure why. Still waiting for West Ham to take this free kick. Now they do, so it's about 10 yards over the halfway line. They've got some space here as well. There'll be Souček to go for goal, but that's a great block there by the Villa defence. But it looks as if Souček was ruled as offside anyway, so even if he had found the back of the net, it wouldn't have counted. And indeed, the assistant referee's flag was up. And now Villa can go in the counter quickly here down this right channel. Sancho goes past Fernandes. McGinn plays the ball square to his right-hand side. Cash. Onana into the centre. Midway down this half now. Austin McPhee, by the way, Aston Villa's set-piece coach, has been given a yellow card. So can only assume that was for dissent. So first booking of the game has gone to Villa's set-piece coach, Austin McPhee. I think he also works in the Portugal international setup as well, alongside Roberto Martinez. Villa still in possession here. Cash to Concert. Barkley finds McGinn in space here. Good pass from the Scotland international. Finds Sancho. Brings the ball up to the byline on that right hand side. I think the ball comes off Diouf last, and it is. Quick throw taken by Sancho. Finds Cash. Plays the ball back to Concert, just on the outskirts of the centre circle. Quick 1-2 with Barkley. Now Concert finds Torres. He's got a little bit of space to work into here. Digne back to Torres. Now Concert inside the centre circle. Barkley. Torres again. He's got quite a bit of space here. The Spanish centre-half tries to play a through ball in. Loose ball is just collected there by Souček. And now West Ham can go in a counter here. The flag stays down. And West Ham is about 3-on-3. Just into the 18-yard box. But it's a poor delivery across the face of goal. Was attempting to find Pablo, but goes nowhere near him. And Tati Castellanos there, not the best pass he'll ever play in his career. So about 5 minutes to go then before we find out how much stoppage time there will be. Inside what's been an interesting first half. I think Villa have certainly been the better side so far, and they warrant their lead, but of course still a long way to go. And plenty can change very, very quickly as Nuno Espirito Santo watches on here. So it's going to be a free kick. So it was actually an offside in the build-up to that West Ham attack. Castellanos just caught himself offside. So Villa play the ball back to Martinez inside the D. Just a reminder of what subs are on offer for both Villa and West Ham today. So on the bench for Villa today, Bailey, Abraham, Bizot, Bogard, Buendia, Matson, Mings, Louise and Tielemans. On the bench for West Ham United today, Areola, Kante, Kilman, Magassa, Potts, Scarles, Traore, Walker-Peters and Wilson. Barkley just receives the ball from Torres, coming under quite a bit of pressure though from Souček, forced to go back to Martinez. Concert just inside Villa's own 18-yard box, plays the ball to his right-hand side. Cash, Onana. And Villa have certainly had a lot more of the ball within the last 15 to 20 minutes as well. Barkley just on the left-hand side of the centre circle. Nice pitched-in delivery to Cash on the right. Links up nicely here with Sancho. Onana back to Cash. Just coming under a little bit of pressure there from Fernandes. Concert takes the ball into the centre circle. Torres. Digne on the left-hand side. About 25 yards away from the goal line. Back to Torres. Rodgers. Barkley. Again, really nice possession play from Villa within the last few minutes here. And the ball swung over to the right wing from the halfway line then. Matty Cash goes square. Sancho. Back to Cash on this right-hand side. That's a nice delivery there. Maybe offside from Sancho. Flag stays down. Sancho still has possession here on this right flank for Villa. Barkley. Onana. Back to Sancho. Now Cash is in a great position here. He's inside the box. He'll go for goal, but he slips as he goes for goal. But Villa have been able to win the ball back straight away with their defence, which has been pressed up very high into West Ham's own half. Torres looking for support, finds McGinn. Possible offside, nothing given from the assistant referee. Delivery in from Digne, and that'll be expertly chested down by Diouf into the gloves of Hermansen. So about 2.5 minutes to go then before we find out how much stoppage time we get. Still goalless between Tottenham Hotspur and Nottingham Forest. From what we can see here, it's not exactly been a classic, that game, so far. So Hermansen still with the ball at his feet here. Now chips the ball over to Disasi on his left-hand side. Disasi will take the ball up to the halfway line, but that's a poor pass. Goes nowhere near Diouf, and not what Espirito Santo would like to have seen. So a very cheap throw-in to give away here for Villa. Now moving into the 44th minute. It's a slight break. Now the throw-in comes in. Rodgers, real battle here between Rodgers and Wan-Bissaka. Rodgers keeps on going again. Then he goes down on the outskirts of the area. And what is the referee given here? He's not given anything. Play continues. Rodgers felt like he was fouled, but nothing given there. In the end, a clean challenge from Wan-Bissaka. West Ham think they're about to go on the break through Castellanos, but the assistant referee's flag is up once again. So less than 60 seconds to go before we go into stoppage time. Just a slight break before this free kick comes into effect. Just having a look here on my monitor of this challenge then. I think it was a fair challenge by Wan-Bissaka on Rodgers. But it looks as if Wan-Bissaka has actually received a yellow card, so must have been for some form of dissent there, because the challenge itself was deemed to be fair. So Wan-Bissaka is the first player to receive a booking in this game, so Wan-Bissaka on a caution, can presume only for dissent. Ball just played in across the face of goal by Sancho. Comes to nothing there. In fact, the ball actually just comes off a West Ham player last though, and it'll be a corner to Villa on this right-hand side. So we're now into stoppage time, and we're going to have 3 minutes of injury time here. So certainly still time for a goal, but for which side? What can Villa do here with this set piece? It's going to be Luca Digne to take. It's going to be from this right-hand side. So it's going to be an in-swinger. It's going to take it left-footed. So we go halfway through the first minute of stoppage time here. Can Villa double their lead on the stroke of half-time? Corner comes in, and the ball just ricochets just over the bar there. Just trying to see who actually got the last touch. It's a goal kick, so Mavropanos again was at the heart of it for West Ham, and is now laid down on the turf here. Let's find out exactly what happened. I think Mavropanos there just in with a tussle. I think just a stray arm there from Watkins brought Mavropanos down. I think he should be fine to continue though, and he is. He's already back up on both feet here. And he's okay to continue as we await for the goal kick to be taken by Hermansen. Just waiting for this delivery to be taken. Now it is just over the halfway line then, so just under 90 seconds to go. Oh, I can let you know there's been a goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it's gone to Nottingham Forest. So it's Spurs 0, Forest 1 Jesus has scored there for Forest on the stroke of half-time. That's a huge, huge goal. It's not good news, well, obviously for Spurs. It's also not good news for West Ham. Ideally, West Ham, for them, get a win here and just hope that Forest Spurs game is a draw. And as it stands, West Ham would still be inside the relegation zone, 1 point behind 17th placed Spurs as it stands. So West Ham have now got a corner then with 30 seconds to go of stoppage time. It's going to be Bowen to take. Surely this is going to be the last chance here for a second goal in this first half. It's aimed in at the near post, cleared away by Villa. McGinn thought he was about to start to counter there for the Villains, but Wan-Bissaka gets there first. Then Wan-Bissaka goes down under a challenge from Onana, but it looks to be a fair challenge, and it'll just be a throw to the visitors. Midway down Villa's own half on this right-hand side. Now Bowen looking to go past Onana. Onana gets the ball back for the... there. Just the one goal. We certainly could have seen more than that. So John McGinn is the difference maker so far. John McGinn with the only goal so far. Better as it has progressed. It was a bit of a slow start, but he has seemingly really begun to find his feet at Villa. Some early pressure there from Villa down the middle, but West Ham's defence are equal to that one. Ball now with Soucek. Plays the ball back to Disasi. Now up to the halfway line. Won nicely there by Wilson for his first touch. But Villa back in possession now with John McGinn on this right-hand side, just on the outskirts of the 18-yard box. Sancho tees up Matty Cash, almost finds Ollie Watkins. Now a loose ball will run out to Luca Digne. Goes for the shot. It comes off the stomach there of Traore. Just winded him a little bit there as well, because the ball was whacked right at him. And just got a slight break here. It's that chance there from Digne. As we're now 2 minutes into the second half here. Just seeing Nuno Espirito Santo pretty animated in the dugout area here. So we just await for this game to continue. And we should be ready to go now. Just a reminder that in the other key game happening elsewhere at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it's currently Tottenham Hotspur 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Jesus with the goal there, right on the stroke of half-time. So it's going to be an uncontested drop ball in Villa's favour. Torres to Rodgers, just on the left-hand side there. Ball comes in, but it will find no one, and it will go out harmlessly for a goal kick for Hermansen to take. Just waiting for Aaron Wan-Bissaka to come back onto the field. After needing to go off after a little bit of treatment here, should be able to come back on now. And he's back on. And we're just waiting for Hermansen to distribute with the goal kick. Goes long, well over the halfway line. Just runs up to Barkley in that holding role in Villa's midfield, and he's done well there so far in this match. Ball comes out to Ollie Watkins, just about 10 yards over the line. Comes to nothing. Will actually be a goal kick for Wan-Bissaka to take. Immediately followed by another West Ham throw. They make up about another 5 yards and now go over the halfway line into Villa's half. Wan-Bissaka to take once more. Back with Villa though. Barkley feeds the ball nicely to the midfield where Sancho is. Goes past the centre circle. Just looking for his best option here, Sancho. Passes back to Onana. Sancho again to Cash. Now it's Concert at the heart of the Villa defence. Torres. Now with Digne. Barkley, not the best of passes there from Barkley, but he does well to win the ball back here. He'll go for goal from around 30 yards out, and it's tipped over the bar there by the goalkeeper, Hermansen. It's not the first important save that he's had to make, and that was almost the second goal for Villa there within the opening 5 minutes of the second half. Fernandez just had the ball taken off him there by Barkley, and it was a rasping shot there from the former England midfielder, tipped over the bar by Hermansen, and that ball was absolutely travelling there, and it was on target as well. Almost too hot to handle there, and it's going to be a corner kick here for the hosts. So we now move into the 6th minute of the second half here, as Villa still hold this 1-0 lead. So it's going to be a corner to be taken from the right-hand side, and it'll be taken by Digne. So it looks as if it'll be an in-swinger of a delivery with Digne's left foot. Plenty of bodies right around the goal line here. A lot of pushing and shoving. Corner kick comes in then from the French fullback, headed away by the West Ham defence. Comes out to Matty Cash, goes for goal from 25 yards out, but it's steered a few yards over the bar. But we all know how dangerous Villa are from those long-range opportunities. But this one goes harmlessly over the bar in the end. So still Villa 1, West Ham 0. We'll give you updates on what is happening elsewhere at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as and when we get it. But at the moment, it's still Spurs 0, Forest 1 in that huge, huge game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ball cleared away by the West Ham defence. Goes up top, looking to find Callum Wilson. Can't quite get there though. Villa play goes down, but play continues. Barkley and Villa can go in a counter pretty quickly here. Rodgers now goes past the centre circle, looking to play the through ball to Jadon Sancho. Sancho plays the ball across the face of goal. It's claimed by Hermansen, but did Hermansen carry the ball over the byline? The assistant referee says no, and West Ham can resume play here. That was definitely half a chance there for Villa, but Sancho just couldn't quite direct the ball into a good area for Watkins to latch onto. So West Ham now on the attack. Bowen, who's had a pretty quiet game so far. Villa have done really well to limit his time on the ball, but the Hammers now with possession on the left hand side. Diouf, that's a really good cross there, but Torres in the heart of Villa's defence heads the ball away from the edge of his own 6-yard box. Good delivery that from Diouf. He's not really had many opportunities in this game to have the space to whip a cross in, but when he does, the crosses tend to be of a very good quality. And it's going to be a throw here for the Hammers, right next to the corner quadrant. It's going to be Mavropanos to take. It looks as if it's going to be a long one here, no one around him. So Mavropanos with the long throw. Comes out to Fernandez. Will go for goal here. It could be headed in from close range, but that's a great last-ditch header there from Luca Digne that saves Villa, and West Ham could have ended up getting an equaliser there in the 53rd minute. That's probably been their best opportunity of the game. I think there was a suspicion of offside in there, but Pablo almost got his head onto the end of that one at the far post. But that was a brilliant headed clearance by Digne, but West Ham back on the attack here. Charged down by Sancho. What is the final decision going to be? I think it's going to be a throw to West Ham in an attacking position. Fernandez's attempted shot from the outside of the box closed down well by the Villa defence. So we've just got a slight break. It's going to be Mavropanos again now on the other flank with a long throw up towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Now Mavropanos again on this right flank. Good delivery there from the Greek defender. It's a header on target, but it's saved comfortably in the end by Emi Martinez for, I think, pretty much his first save of the game. But decent effort from Axel Disasi. But in the end, his header just straight at Martinez. And a fairly comfortable save in the end for the Argentinian FIFA World Cup winner. Villa play the ball out from the back. Torres. Now to Barkley. Plays back to Torres. Concert plays the ball out from the edge of his own 18-yard box. Now Cash has got plenty of space on this right-hand side. The next goal going to be absolutely crucial in this game in terms of the outcome, surely. If Villa, because you do get the feeling if Villa can get a second goal, that probably will be game, set and match. But a goal for West Ham would change everything. Watkins from 25 yards out goes for a shot, but it's blocked straight away. Loose ball runs out to Onana onto the left-hand side. It's just inside the 18-yard box. Digne was a good charge down there by Wan-Bissaka. Ball runs out to Barkley. Can't quite get the ball out from under his feet in time to get a strike on target, but Villa keep the ball on the left-hand side. McGinn, attempted delivery. Again, charged down by Wan-Bissaka. And that'll be a throw from the left-hand side. It's going to be Digne to take. Just waiting for the throw-in to come in. Still no changes yet from Villa. West Ham have 3 more that they can make. Throw-in comes into the outskirts of the 18-yard area, cleared away by West Ham's back line. only as far as Torres, who's just behind the halfway line here, the Spanish centre-half. Passes square to Conser, through the middle, finds Rogers. Controls the ball nicely. Now to begin. Cash. Now with Onana. Plays the ball up to the middle. Barkley, about 30 yards away from the goal line. Cash does well to keep the ball in play. Begin. Back to Cash. Now Sancho. Begin again. Onana, just in that centre of midfield, just shielding the ball away from Wilson. Back to Conser. Now into the 57th minute, still Villa 1, West Ham 0. And as we touched on before, this next goal absolutely crucial here. Villa still in possession in midfield. Barkley. Torres. Villa pressing pretty high up the pitch at the moment here. Conser. Just inside the centre circle, just being pressured a little bit by Pablo, but Villa keep the ball. Keeping possession nicely. Torres to attacking midfield area. Rogers, Sancho, Onana. Now Watkins goes down. Referee says no foul, and now West Ham will look to counter here. Looking to play in Pablo. He's about 35 yards away from goal. Pablo might go for a long-range shot. In the end, passes to Bowen on his right-hand side. Bowen goes for goal, and it takes a deflection there off Ezri Konsa. And it's going to be a corner here for West Ham from this right-hand side. And a chance here for West Ham to find a way back into this game through a set-piece. That's what they did, of course, in their most recent Premier League game. So the corner will be taken by Jared Bowen on this right-hand side. In the 58th minute here. Still Villa 1, West Ham 0. And this big game here at both ends of the table. Villa looking to boost their hopes of qualifying for next season's UEFA Champions League. West Ham desperate to escape the relegation zone. Corner comes in, aimed at the far post. Bit of head tennis here from both sides. Comes off Cash. Another header comes in. Jared Bowen in a good position, but he steers wide. I think he was offside anyway there. I don't think it would have counted, but still, just a bit of a warning sign though for Villa. Yeah, the assistant referee's flag was up, but still, a bit of a warning sign for Villa that this game is far from over here. Just a reminder of the subs that Villa have got on offer then, because they've still got all 5 to make. So available to them is Bailey, Abraham, Bizot, Bogard, Buendia, Matson, Mings, Louise, and the returning Yuri Tielemans. That's a big boost for Villa. And still available on the bench for West Ham, Areola, Kante, Kilman, Nagasa, Skulls, and Walker-Peters. Villa on the counter now though. Rogers looking to find McGinn. Onana goes for goal from 25 yards out, but that's lofted pretty comfortably over the bar there in the end. But Villa absolutely love going for those long-range opportunities. They've had a lot of success throughout the season with shots from outside the 18-yard box. So definitely well worth the hit there. But Onana's curling effort with his right foot going about 5 or 6 yards over the bar. Just in terms of the match stats here for this game, so Villa have had 19 shots with just the 4 on target. West Ham with 5 shots and just the 1 on target so far. It's we'll give you an update on the Spurs-Forest game as soon as we can. In fact, we can let you know it's still Spurs 0, Forest 1 there. Igor Jesus with the only goal of the game there on the stroke of half-time. Up to the hour mark then. Still Villa 1, West Ham 0. Conser to Barkley inside the centre circle. Torres. Digne. Now West Ham with Jared Bowen. Going up to the byline on the right-hand side. It's good defending though from Barkley. He can't prevent a corner kick. And it should be a corner here for West Ham. Gets a round of applause from head coach Nuno Espirito Santo. I think it's certainly been better from West Ham in the second half. They've shown a bit more purpose. They've been able to get into better positions in the final third. I think it's actually going to be a goal kick, and it is. It's a goal kick, so the ball must have just ricocheted off Bowen before the ball went over the byline. Now Villa looking to go in a counter here. Rodgers was impeded by Disasi. And it's going to be a free kick for Villa to be taken by Rodgers just inside the centre circle, inside Villa's own half, as we now just move past the hour mark here. Of course, big game still to come. Kicking off in just under an hour's time is the final of the Carabao Cup, or the League Cup if you prefer it. Arsenal versus Manchester City, and arguably the biggest League Cup final maybe that there's ever been. It's got huge consequences, hasn't it, this game, in terms of how it could shape the Premier League title race as well, in terms of momentum and confidence for both sides. So that's one not to be missed, and Flash Score will of course be providing live audio commentary coverage of that game as well through Adam Marsden for that match. Here though at Villa Park, it's still Villa 1, West Ham 0. Rob Edwards, the Wolves head coach, looking on here. It's in the top row, one of the VIP bits. So we just have a slight break here. So again, just a reminder, Villa have 5 more substitutions that they can make, so still a full allotment of 5. West Ham with still 3 more that they can make here. Villa on the counter though. Now with Sancho running into Mavropanos. Again, very good defending there from the Greek defender. Now with Bowen, just midway down the right-hand side. Back to Soucek. Into the centre circle. Disasi. Just over to the left of centre for the Hammers. Traore. It's been fairly quiet since his introduction. Straight after the interval. That's a decent delivery though, aimed in at the far post. Chested down by Wilson. Plays the ball across the face of goal, but it runs out to Villa here. And they're looking to go on the counter very quickly indeed. And on the overlap here comes Morgan Rodgers. But the ball is just played just ahead of him. And Disasi is there at the right place at the right time, just to cover West Ham's tracks, and can play the ball back to Hermansen. West Ham playing the ball through the centre of midfield now. So even though Villa have certainly been the better of the two sides so far, it's still close. And just one mistake or one moment of magic here from West Ham will bring them back onto level terms, and then it really is all to play for. Ball comes off Digne last, and it's going to be a corner. And this is where West Ham can damage Villa here on the set pieces. Don't think Jarrod Bowen is taking this one. Oh, in fact he is. He's just marching over to the nearest football to it before he goes back to the corner quadrant. So it's going to be Jarrod Bowen to take then. 64 minutes played. Villa 1, West Ham 0. Villa still lead through that goal after a quarter of an hour mark through John McGinn. Plenty of pushing and shoving again inside the 6-yard box. Corner comes in. Should be cleared away by Digne. Has to play the ball out wherever he can, so it's going to be a throw to the Hammers in a good position, taken quickly by Bowen. Quick 1-2 with Fernandez. Bowen gets the delivery in, chested down by Torres, and comes out to Wan-Bissaka in defence for West Ham. Now Diouf to Traore down this left hand side, coming up against Cash. Delivery comes in, aimed at the far post again, but no one there this time for the Hammers. And the ball will go out for the goal kick for Martinez to take. So just a slight break here. I can let you know, by the way, there's been another goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's a very big goal. It's a huge, significant goal in terms of the relegation battle, and it's Spurs 0, Nottingham Forest 2. Gibbs White has scored there in the 62nd minute. Now, of course, these things are always subject to VAR, so we will just check that within the next minute or two to make sure that goal still stands. But as far as we can see, it's Spurs 0, Forest 2. And it's Gibbs White who has scored with the assist from Hudson-Odoi. So a huge goal there for Forest, and well, a huge goal as well in terms of Spurs' perspective. Here though at Villa Park, still 1-0 to the hosts. Mavropanos. Back to the centre circle, finds Souček. To the left-hand side here. Traore coming up against Cash. West Ham's got a chance, but they've blazed the ball over the bar. And that is the best chance they've had in the game by quite some distance. And Pablo knows it. The ball came out to him quickly there. He just suddenly found the ball at his feet. I mean, he did the right thing. It needed a swing and a hit. He had to play it first time, but he leant back just a little bit too much. And from 12 yards out, he blazes the ball over the bar. But that is unquestionably West Ham's best opportunity of the game. And you've got to take one of these chances here if they are to get at least a point. Now, Villa looking like they're about to make a double switch. John McGinn is going to come off. Looks as if he's obviously going to have to give up the captain's armband now. And Youri Tielemans is going to come on. The first time in quite some time here that we've seen Tielemans. And Leon Bailey is also going to come on as well. I think he's going to come on for Barkley. He does. So Tielemans is coming on. Douglas Luiz is coming on as well, as we just come up to the midway point. And so Tielemans returns to Villa. And that's a huge boost. And he gets a huge reception by the Villa home supporters here. So it's a triple change then. So McGinn, Barkley and Sancho have come off, and they've been replaced by Tielemans, Bailey and Luiz. So a triple sub then by Villa head coach Unai Emery midway through the second half. And the big news there, Youri Tielemans is back for Villa after a long injury layoff. That's a big boost for Villa as they look to end the season on a high in the league and secure a place in next season's Champions League. And they're on the attack very quickly here. Morgan Rogers, it's palmed away by the goalkeeper and it's gone in! It's 2-0 and it's Ollie Watkins, the out-of-form striker, has got a goal that he's been craving so much in this match. Not the best goalkeeping, it has to be said, from Hermansen. I don't think he should have palmed the ball away in that position. The quickest player to react was Ollie Watkins, and he places the ball home from close range. It's a goal poacher's finish, and Watkins was in at the right place at the right time there to double Aston Villa's leads. It's Villa 2, West Ham 0. Villa dispossessing West Ham inside their own half. Morgan Rogers carries the ball over the halfway line. Brilliant run there. So he goes for goal. And it's not great goalkeeping. And Hermansen, who's been really good, I think, over the past few games for West Ham, and has been good up to now in this match as well, but just sort of, I mean, he makes the save, but if he's going to parry the ball away, he's got to do it with a bit more gusto than that. He almost kind of pats the ball out in front of him, and the quickest player to react is Ollie Watkins, and he says, "Thank you very much." And he scores from close range, and it's Villa 2, West Ham 0. And of course that plays, well, a huge say in what happens in terms of the battle for a top 5 position for next season's Champions League spots. And of course that goal has big ramifications for the bottom 3 as well. It's certainly a goal that Spurs will be happy with, because of course if West Ham were to win this game and Spurs continue to be down against Forest, Spurs would actually go into the relegation zone. But for that to happen, West Ham would now need to score 3 times here. So Villa 2-0 up. We'll come back to some of the ramifications later, but West Ham going on an attack here. They need to find a moment of inspiration somewhere, or work something very well through a set piece here, or a Villa mistake defensively to try and claw something back into this game. But in terms of the as it stands table, West Ham still 18th, but they'd still just be 1 point inside the drop zone. And the 17th place team is Tottenham Hotspur. Forest would be sitting just above them in 16th. Now Rogers on the next counter-attack for Villa. Plays the ball up to Bailey, and then the ball is played in across the face of goal. Hermansen parries the ball out here, this time into a position where Villa can't take advantage of. Rogers claiming that the last touch came from a West Ham player, but it doesn't. It's going to be a goal kick for Hermansen to take. Just having a look at my monitor here again of that second goal then for Villa. Again, it's an uncomfortable save made by Hermansen. Just pats the ball out in front of him when it needed a stronger push of the gloves there to just tip the ball out, just concede the corner. And in the end, Ollie Watkins takes advantage. I think coming into this game, it was 1 goal from his last 9 Premier League games. And so, obviously, on a personal note for Watkins, that's a huge goal for him as well, especially with that FIFA World Cup coming up thick and fast. And obviously, he wants to make sure he's on that plane to North America. So, 72nd minute played. Villa 2, West Ham 0. And Villa certainly warrants this lead, but of course a goal for West Ham could still change things very fast. Villa back on the attack. Digne plays the ball into Tielemans. And that is, I must say, that is a huge boost for Villa. I know it's been touched on before, but Youri Tielemans has been sorely missed, as has Boubacar Kamara for Villa, but I'm pretty certain he's going to be unavailable for the rest of this season. And of course, with John McGinn only until recently coming back from injury, I think that is the main part really why Villa have struggled within the last couple of months. I mean, there's 3 big midfield players that they've missed, and their creative outlets have gone there. And I think that's the main reason why Villa have struggled so much in the last couple of months. But just signs, though, that things are getting back on track. Whereas for West Ham, it's certainly a step back for them. They were 2 league games unbeaten heading into this match. But if they're going to keep that record intact, they need a goal back quickly. Villa looking to counter here, but had the ball taken away from them. Soucek plays the ball over the halfway line to Traore. Now to Fernandez. Soucek, quick 1-2 with Diouf. Just a reminder, by the way, of the substitutions we've had. So at half-time, West Ham made 2 changes. Traore coming on for Potts and Wilson coming on for Castellanos. And a triple change made by Unai Emery for Villa at the midway point of the second half. Barkley, McGinn and Sancho coming off. Louise, Tielemans and Bailey coming on. West Ham, their latest chance at an attack here. And it's Traore that just is able to reach the ball before it goes over the byline, but it just goes straight into the gloves of Emi Martinez. So we're into the 74th minute here. Still to let you know it is Spurs 0, Forest 2. Goals from Igor Jesus and Morgan Gibbs-White there. We've given Forest that 2-0 lead, and that just heaps, mountains more of pressure on Igor Tudor. Villa now just happy to play the ball around the back here. Concert to Cash. Tielemans. Cash again. Concert. Villa just comfortable at the back. I mean, I must say, I have covered quite a few Villa games in commentaries this season, and this is the best I've seen Villa play in a long time. Well, particularly in the Premier League anyway. Whereas West Ham has just been a step back for them. They've just been outclassed really so far in this game, and there's not much time now to get things turned around. Ball was aimed in there, trying to find Wan-Bissaka around the corner flag on the right wing, but too much weight on it, and Wan-Bissaka can't reach it. So Villa with 2 more subs that they can still make. West Ham with 3 more. Around 15 minutes to go then before we find out how much stoppage time there will be. In case you missed it, by the way, a huge game has already taken place earlier on today in the Premier League, a midday kickoff. Huge derby in the northeast, and it's Sunderland who have the bragging rights. A 90th minute winner from Brian Brobby gave Sunderland all 3 points in that game in a 2-1 victory at St James's Park to stun the home crowd after Newcastle took an early lead through Anthony Gordon before a goal from Tolby got the equaliser for Sunderland, and then Brobby got the winner in, I think I'm right in saying it was the 90th minute that they got it, so couldn't have been any more dramatic there. Of course, we've still got the Carabao Cup final to come at 4:30 UK time between the Premier League's top two, Arsenal and Manchester City. West Ham in possession then, just inside the said circle with Mavropanos, Disasi, Diouf and Fernandez. Traore on that left flank, just charged down by Cash, comes off Traore last, and it'll be a throw in to Villa. Just a slight break here. It looks as if we're going to get a further change, and it's another one for Villa. So Emiliano Buendia is going to come on here, and it looks as if he's going to replace Morgan Rogers as we move into the 77th minute of the game. So this is Villa's penultimate substitution that they can make. So Rogers coming off to a good ovation here at Villa Park, and he's going to be replaced by Emi Buendia. So Villa will now have just one more substitution that they can make. West Ham still with three more. At the moment, it's just hard to see where West Ham are going to get a goal back here, because Villa's defence have been pretty rock solid up to now. Of course, I'm risking the commentator's curse there. West Ham just play the ball back to Hermansen inside his own box. Now to Mavropanos. And despite West Ham being 2-0 down, I think there's very much still an argument to be made that Mavropanos is the man of the match here. He's been absolutely immense at the back for West Ham. Douglas Luiz to Onana. Torres. Konsa. Villa's right-hand side of defence. Cash just in front of the dugout areas for both teams. Now Cash going on a good run here. He's made about 25 yards. Now with Bailey on the overlap. Bailey finds Cash just on the outskirts of the area. That's a good ball in. Ball played across the face of goal by Bailey. And West Ham's defence forced to scramble the ball away anywhere they can. It was Disasi with that last touch. Not sure if it went out for a corner or a throw. I think it's a throw. Good link-up play though between Cash and Bailey. And it is a throw. The ball just going the other side of the corner flag there. So Matty Cash will take the throw. Goes shorter this time to Bailey. Bailey brought down, but referee says no foul. Ball played away by West Ham, but to no one. All it does is just goes into the dugout area. And again, it's just hard to really see where West Ham are going to find a way back into this game. And the best bet really is going to be through a set piece. But at the moment, Villa on top here. And this would be a welcome victory to say the least. Of course, we touched on this earlier. Coming into this game, Villa are on the back of 3 league defeats in a row. Cross comes in from the right-hand side. That man again, Mavropanos, just calmly heads the ball away. Luiz tries to keep the ball in for Villa. Can't do so though. And it'll be a throw-in to the Hammers. So we now just move towards the 80th minute here. Long ball from West Ham's defence. Looking to find Wilson up top. Now onto West Ham's left-hand side. About midway down Villa's own half. Now with Wan-Bissaka. Up to Bowen. Now Mavropanos. Soucek. Soucek with a long searching ball there. Towards the right wing, but it's calmly headed away by Villa. Falls to Buendia. Villa play goes down. In fact, it's Buendia himself that goes down there, just shoved over. It's not really been a dirty game at all. There's just been 2 bookings in this game, and one of those has gone to the Villa set-piece coach. So only one player has actually received the yellow card. I'm pretty certain that was just for dissent there from Wan-Bissaka. West Ham's next Premier League game is quite a way in advance. That's on the 10th of April. Huge game though. That's at home against Wolves. Villa's next game in any competition is actually in the UEFA Europa League. Again, a long way in advance. That's because we've got an international break followed by the weekend that's reserved for the FA Cup. So Villa's next game after this match isn't actually until Thursday the 9th of April, so it's almost like a little bit of a three-quarter season break there almost for the Villains. And it will be the same for quite a few teams as well. Concert, just inside West Ham's own half. Plays square to Torres. Now Luiz. Digne. Back to Luiz. Digne goes down, but referee just plays on. Tries to find Watkins. Wilson. Now is able to find Traore. Traore, good work there from Traore. He's just found some space. Needs some help though. Diouf with a good delivery from the left-hand side. Glancing header off Pablo, but I think it comes off a Villa defender last. Comes off Onana last. And that should be a corner then to West Ham. That was a good ball there. Again, Diouf is excellent when crossing the ball from that left-hand side. He's just not had much opportunity to do so in this game. Really good delivery that, and it was good defending from Onana to get in the way of Pablo's header. And so it's going to be a corner for West Ham. And as we've touched on before, this is where they can get back into the game. They've got to make the most of these set pieces. Corner comes in at the near post, and Villa's defence just able to head the ball away. Traore trying to find the ball on the right-hand side. It's just cleared away by Villa's left-hand side of their defence here. So it's going to be a throw to the Hammers. Just a couple of nervy moments there in the Villa back line. Now we're going to see a double sub for West Ham as we now move into the 83rd minute of the game. Who's coming on here then? So it looks as if Mohamedou Kante is going to come on. I think for Tomáš Souček. Yeah, Souček coming off, and Mohamedou Kante is going to come on. And looks as if Aaron Wan-Bissaka is coming off as well. So Wan-Bissaka and Souček coming off, Magassa and Kante coming on. So Mohamedou Kante and Sungutu Magassa coming on for West Ham, and they've still got one more substitution that they can make, as have Aston Villa. So Digne to take with the throw. Cleared away by Mavropanos. Good takedown there by Wilson, but is kind of is a bit stranded where he is there, kind of marooned over onto the deep down onto the right wing. Got no one around him, but West Ham have done well to keep the ball though. Disasi now to Kante with his first touch. Traore, big challenge there between him and Cash. Now between Kante and Bailey, and the referee has given a free kick to Villa's favour. In fact, I think it's actually going to be given as a throw. The whole of the ball just went over the touchline. It's going to be Cash to take. So just over 6 minutes to go then before we start stoppage time. Still Aston Villa 2, West Ham United 0. John McGinn took the lead for Villa in the 15th minute after being set up by Jadon Sancho. And then Ollie Watkins pounced on a rebound midway through the second half to double Villa's lead after Morgan Rogers' effort was palmed away by Mads Hermansen. Villa back on the attack here. That's an excellent backheeled pass from Buendia. Finds Bailey just on the right-hand side of the box. Chested down by Luiz. Tries to keep the ball. Now moves the possession up to Digne on the left-hand side. The French fullback as well to keep possession here. Now just retreating away from the goal just to find a better option. And Villa just keeping the ball nicely. Konsa. Watkins. Now to Bailey. Bailey goes down. West Ham don't like it, but it's a free kick to Villa. There's Diouf penalised that. And at the moment then, Villa heading towards 3 points. And we'll just need to check the as it stands table in terms of what this means for the top half, because of course we've just been concentrating on the bottom half so far. So if Villa win, and it looks at the moment very likely that they will here, is a much-needed win for them. It ends a run of 3 defeats in a row in the league, so they would move to within 1 point of third-place Manchester United. But crucially, Villa will now have built up a 5-point gap over 5th-placed Liverpool and a 6-point gap over 6th-placed Chelsea. So it just gives Villa a little bit of breathing room before we head into this international break. But of course, the job isn't done yet for the hosts. Delia with the free kick then, swung into the 18-yard box, but not a lot of quality in that delivery. And the ball just goes straight out for a goal kick. So as it stands, so just to confirm then, Man U in 3rd with 55 points, Villa would be 4th with 54, then Liverpool in 5th with 49, Chelsea 6th with 48, and then, very interestingly, Brentford 7th with 46 points, Everton 8th with 46 points. So Brentford and Everton would only be 3 points behind that Champions League spot, which will be available for the 5th place team. Now we've got a final change here for Villa, and Ollie Watkins is going to come off, and he gets a big reception here from the Villa faithful. Of course, he's got a much needed goal, proper goal poacher's finish as well. Pounced on the rebound opportunity after Hermansen palmed the ball out in front of him, and Watkins got ahead of Diouf to steer the ball in before he celebrated with the front row of the crowd. So Ollie Watkins off, and Tammy Abraham comes on for the final few minutes here as Villa look to secure all 3 points. Just a reminder, again, of course, cup final today, later today. It'll be kicking off in around 25 minutes time. Arsenal against Manchester City in the final of the Carabao Cup. Wilson just latches onto a through ball here for West Ham. Just having to steer himself over towards the right flank though. But keeps possession. Magassa with an attempted ball there into the box. Headed away by the Villa defence. Just kept in play by Diouf and keeps possession. Villa do well to win the ball back though, and the whole of the ball doesn't quite go over the touchline despite a few appeals, but West Ham have won possession back, and if they're going to get a point they need to score pretty much here, and they won't do it through that though. An awful delivery there from Traore, just doesn't get his bearings right, and the ball goes out of play, and kind of sums up West Ham's afternoon. They've certainly shown some good fight back in recent weeks, but it's just not been their day today. They've been heavily outclassed by a much improved Villa performance. As I mentioned before, this is the best I've seen Villa play in the Premier League for quite some time, because for so long they've been very lethargic, lacking in a lot of creativity, but from Villa's perspective this has been much better for them, and obviously it does them the world of good if they can have an in-form Ollie Watkins leading the line for the final few weeks of the season as well. Long ball up top from West Ham, goes out of play. It'll be a throw to Villa. As it's just over a minute to go before we find out how much stoppage time there is. You can tell the game is really just petering out now. It really does look like the result is a formality here. West Ham have just not been able to break down this Villa defence. So less than a minute to go then before we reach the 90th. And the tempo has dropped significantly, it has to be said. So it's a Villa throw just over the halfway line. Cash will take, long throw. Bailey tries to get on the end of it and does get on the end of it, but when he cuts back, the ball is taken from him by Fernandes. Now Diouf, just on the left-hand side of West Ham's back line to Mavropanos. Just slips there as he carries the ball away, but gets a second bite of the cherry and can still play the ball back to his goalkeeper. So we're just about to find out how much stoppage time there will be now. We're now into the 90th minute. How much are we going to get? Oh, I can tell you there's been another goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. My goodness me. It is Spurs 0, Forest 3. That's Spurs 0, Forest 3 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And, well, there was already a lot of pressure on Igor Tudor. I mean, that has now increased tenfold here as West Ham lash an opportunity there. That goes comfortably over the bar. So it's 4 minutes of stoppage time here. And we're 30 seconds of the way through the first minute after that chance from Kante. Well, there's always a little bit ambitious, but he blazes the ball over the bar, and that might well be West Ham's last opportunity of the game. So just over 3 minutes to go then. Villa 2, West Ham 0. This would be a huge win for Villa. Just builds up a small cushion again ahead of the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea, and of course Everton and Brentford, who genuinely could sneak into finish into the top 5. It's been a strange season. It could definitely happen, but it just means that Villa have that small cushion ahead of the international break, and then that's followed by the weekend that's reserved just for the FA Cup quarter-finals. So 2.5 minutes to go. And just a reminder, in that other crucial Premier League game that's taking place at the same time as this one here at Villa Park, it's Spurs 0, Forest 3. Pretty extraordinary score there, and so much pressure now on Tottenham Hotspur. They're going to end this afternoon and this weekend in 17th position. Awani scoring in the 87th minute after being set up by Williams. 2 minutes to go then here at Villa Park. Again, the tempo has just dropped, as you can kind of imagine here, as you suspect it would do. Villa just happy to just keep the ball here in defence and play out the remainder of this match. Just a reminder that Ollie Watkins came off just a few minutes ago to a big reception from the Villa Park home support, and Tammy Abraham came on to replace him. Back to Martinez, just outside the edge of the 18-yard area. 90 seconds to go, and Villa just pretty much on cruise control now, just keeping the ball. Onana, he's had a good game in the centre of midfield. He's played a big role this season, of course, as we mentioned before, with the likes of Tielemans, McGinn, Kamara being out for long periods of time. Onana has had a lot of responsibility placed on his shoulders just to keep fit. Never mind perform well, just to keep fit and be able to keep playing game in, game out every week. So less than 60 seconds to go. Long ball pumped up top by Villa. Was looking to play in Abraham, but ball is won by Hermansen. Disasi just takes the ball into the centre circle. Mavropanos. Nice ball down the middle. Kante plays the ball up to the edge of the box here. Finds Wilson. Now Bowen.